Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. It's Friday, the 30th of May 2025. Let's talk about Speed Darlington. A few days ago, you guys watched a video that Speed Darlington said he defiled a 15-year-old and talked about specifics in the hotel, blood, and all that different stuff. It was very offensive, it was very rude, it was very sad. I made a video and I replied that Darlington whole thing, talking about my own being a victim of SA. At the end of the day, NAPTIP and Lagos State Domestic Violence Agency and Sexual Violence Agency said they were going to open an investigation and investigate Speed Darlington. I also made another video where I talked about how this case might actually affect his U.S. naturalized citizenship. Why? Because if he decides to go to the U.S. to visit or go back and forth, they might just arrest him at the border. And then they'll question him, and then next thing you know, they'll revoke his citizenship. Statutory rape, even before you got your citizenship, has gotten some people deported under President Trump's Make America Safe Again. You can't commit stuff like that outside and you're not vetted, and then you ended up being a citizen. They'll take this stuff from you. At the end of the day, NAPTIP has summoned Speed Darlington. Now, you remember that Speed Darlington did a video saying it was just a skit. He was just trying to be controversial because he has to eat, he has to create content, which is literally damage control. Because this guy does videos about real life stories, okay? And it didn't work. NAPTIP has summoned him, and in the Punch newspapers, I read this article, and it says here that controversial musician Darlington Okoye, popularly known as Speed Darlington, is scheduled to appear before the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons on Friday over his claim of having sex with a 15-year-old during a live Instagram video. Now, I do have questions about this invitation myself. Why is it NAPTIP that's actually investigating this? They are for trafficking. Okay, why is it not the social service agencies? Now, remember, the person in this, story that he told, if it's true, should be about 25. And they can't really file any charges on him unless that person comes forward and say, yeah, you defiled me when I was underage or whatnot. At the end of the day, Nigeria is disorganized. They don't even know what they're doing. Now, the Lagos State government, domestic violence and sexual violence agency, could be a better person to investigate this. If it happened in Lagos State, which I think it did, and not NAPTIP, okay, because the person wasn't trafficked in any form for sex or any of that stuff. So, anyway, the letter has been sent to him, and we don't know whether he's going to have his lawyer speak on his behalf or even go for the invitation. Because what he's saying is he slept with a 15-year-old girl who was a virgin, and then there was bloody sheets. Now, that does happen with a lot of virgins, So to say it online is not a crime. He did not mention the person's name, but he spoke graphically. So they need to be careful on how they're going to handle this. Okay, the key to it is really the 15-year-olds. And, you don't boast about statutory rape. At the end of the day, let's see what happens.